Please remember these numbers: 50 million, 100 million, 150 million. It may be a quiz at the end. Okay. Nonprofit businesses and for-profit businesses are not polar opposites. In fact, very often they are very similar. But I want to back up and tell you how I got to where we are today. Okay. I'm proud to say that I was on path to be the valedictorian of my class, okay, all through my first half of elementary school. For kindergarten, first grade, second grade, I crushed it. Third grade, things didn't go so well. Through the rest of the time, I see my brother nodding his head. He knows. I just wasn't into school. It wasn't for me, and I say that in caters here. I'm sorry, but it didn't interest me. My parents were concerned. I didn't do very well in high school either. Graduated with a 72 average, pretty low in the rankings of my class, very far from the valedictorian seat. In fact, they didn't let me sit at graduation. They put me in the back corner. Okay. But although my parents were concerned, there was one little shining light that maybe made them feel a little different. I got my first job when I was 14 years old working at McDonald's. Started as a fry cook, cashier, grill guy. I was the McNugget guy. I ate a few too many of those when nobody was looking. And then I became a service leader and a crew leader. So 1 year in, I was leading the team already, 15 years old. And every day when I came home from work, I washed my uniform, I dried it, and I hung it up ready for the next shift. And to this day, my mother will say that that little thing made her worry a little less, that somehow or another, I might be okay when I was doing something that I cared about. Now, my father, he still thought I was a schmuck. Okay. But knowing that the restaurant business was going to be for me, I went all in. I worked at restaurants all through high school, did internships with chefs, with owners, and I went to college studying hotel restaurant management. Somehow or another, I graduated cum laude with honors, right? Go figure, right? 72 to that. And my dad still thought I was a schmuck, but that's okay. From there, I started working in restaurant companies, and I really found my niche. I found something that I loved, that I was passionate about. And I really realized that that's what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to work in food. So I started studying, and I wanted to be a good manager. And then I realized I didn't want to be a good manager. I wanted to be a great leader. So as much as I hated reading and studying in school, I read and I studied and I did everything I could to learn how to be a good leader. Because a good manager can do well, but a great leader can do anything, right? So from there, I worked in other restaurant companies, and then I was very fortunate, met a couple of guys, and we all had a shared vision, opened a little burrito place with, visions of grandeur. We were going to be everywhere. And it worked out okay. We worked our tails off. We set a mission, a very proud statement, to make enough money so that our kids don't have to eat burritos for the rest of their life. It was long. Page one of the operations manual. I'm not making this up. Very inspiring, right? So we worked hard, did well, franchise, everything was awesome. Sold the company, and well, now what? What do I do next? So I kept working in restaurants, and I was good at it, and that was nice. And actually, a bunch of people in the crowd here I know because of my life in the restaurant business. But I wanted something more, right? In the midst of all that, I met my somebody purpose, somebody who was always on a mission, and she inspired me, and she still does. Mark that one down, honey. So what the inspiration was is that I wanted to do something more. I too wanted to have a purpose, okay? But I wasn't sure what that was going to be because I was a food guy. That's all I did my whole life, right? Well, eventually, I met a good man. who had a really cool company that was on the food. So he had built a business, purpose, feeding kids. Okay? And he was looking for a leader. And it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Getting involved in an organization where every day we were able to focus on making a difference. That inspiration was amazing. And what we do is we help feed kids. Okay? The great part about it is the more kids we feed in schools, the more kids we can feed that don't know where their next meal is coming from through our donation program. And our team is driven every day to be the best that they can be because of that. So we brought together our leadership team and we said, look, we need a good, strong mission statement. Feed more kids. And everybody on our team knows that mission statement. But to us, the mission is really important. And I want to explain why. Right? Feeding kids in a school cafeteria, it changes their lives. And for the educators that are here tonight, most of you know not enough kids eat in those cafeterias. So what happens is only the kids that qualify for free and reduced meals are going in, and a lot of them don't want to go. And the reason they don't want to go is because they're embarrassed. There's a shame associated with getting free meals. 60% of kids in the U.S. qualify for either a free or reduced meal every day. Okay? But 30% of those kids go in. They just don't eat. They don't eat breakfast. They don't eat lunch. They may eat junk food or chips or snack, find off of their friend's plate. Why does that matter? A child that eats a good lunch scores 4 points higher in their end of year school scores. Okay? A child that eats a nutritious breakfast has a 17.5% higher math testing score. Breakfast. So that's what drives us. We know that we change the lives of kids by bringing more into the cafeteria. So that child that may be on the brink of passing or failing, dropping out, or staying in school and graduating, we can make a difference with that. I guess to us, the most important part of that is I have never in my 30 plus years led a team that was engaged as a team that we have. Okay. When we talk about leading with purpose, our team doesn't really think about what our revenue is going to be. And we don't celebrate when we have the best profits we've ever had. What we celebrate is how many meals we were able to donate that week and how into the cafeteria every time we go into a new school. And we climb to the mountaintops, our company. Every person is excited about this. So what I would tell you this year, maybe 5 people in my company could tell you what our revenue is going to be, but every single one of them can tell you how many meals we want to donate. Every single one. Okay. And I would bet that I'll tell you what our BHAG is. BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. That's our 10-year goal. And here comes one of those numbers, 50 million meals donated. And every person on our team, all 30 of them, could tell you that number at any given moment. That's engagement, right? That's leading with purpose. So I'd love to say we're the only company doing this. We're not. That's even better. There are amazing companies out there that are driven with purpose and with a mission. Examples of one of those. Bombas. Anybody heard of Bombas? All right. Their mission to help those experiencing homelessness by donating a pair of socks, underwear, or a shirt. That's their mission, right? And they have donated 150 million shoes. Their mission to use business to improve lives. That's their mission statement. Yeah. They've donated 100 million pairs of shoes. Pretty amazing, right? So we talk about conscious capitalism. I want to share with you John Mackey, the founder of Whole Foods. He says that conscious capitalism has 4 key tenets. Number 1, not only focusing on shareholder success, but a higher purpose. Number two, business managed for all stakeholders, employees, customers, vendors, and the community. Number three, a conscious leadership that isn't just focused on profit. And number four, a culture that is humanistic, loving, and caring. Pretty awesome. So, with that, 82% of consumers will say that they want to do business with a company that has a purpose. And 79% of employees say that they would leave a company if they felt it didn't have purpose. Pretty big numbers, right? So, talking about that mission, that purpose reminds me of JFK visiting NASA. A great anecdote. Whether it's 100% true or not, who knows? But in the mission of the moon, went to NASA, meeting people, met a janitor. And he said to him, "What do you do here at NASA?" Answer, "I'm putting a man on the moon." And they were mission and purpose driven. So today is about challenge. So here's my challenge to all of you. Find your mission, find your purpose, lead with it, discuss it all day, every day with your team. Okay? Maybe it's feeding kids. Maybe it's improving outcomes for youth and care, donating shoes, donating socks. It could be saving the sea turtles, but whatever it is, talk about it, share it with your team, and then you can watch the results and the profits that come with it. Thank you.